if you know, you know. But with soldering, it's like at any point, something can just fall off the side, and then you're like, oh, now I'm really screwed. So it's... I'm doing much better today. I don't know if you could tell, but yesterday I was really frantic because I was scared. But I think that it all worked out really well. And, I got those really hard to solder on and keep the alignment and like all of that. They're on there. They're not coming off. And so now I just have to do what I can with what I've got. This is the best that I can do. I had a whole reframing session last night after I turned off all the cameras. I took some time to remind myself why I'm doing this. I don't know if you ever get this in your hobby practice, but we're so ambitious as makers and we want to make things to the highest capacity, but sometimes that means that we make things that are really difficult and it's at the top of our ability. And so this definitely was yep. Anyway, so here's what it looks like now. So I got to straighten these out, but other than that, it's looking good. And so we're just gonna forge forward, and I got to solder this part on, and I got to work on this part a little bit more. I got to cut this down. So yeah, we're just going to keep on keeping on. We got this. This is ready to go. It's got to get cut down. All right. You know what time it is. Let's get to work. Right. Happy end of the day update. And it is a happy one because I think that this is going to work. I had a low moment because I contemplated just giving up. I was like, nobody knows that I'm making this besides a couple of people on Patreon. I could just give up and put this whole thing in the scrap, but we're past that. It's all fine. So look at what we've got. Here it is. And, you know, it's, oh, shoot. You weren't supposed to see that. No, I'm just kidding. It's like basically it's all together and the threaded elements work. So watch this. So see this this is going to be the handle. And right now, you know, it's loose because there's nothing holding these two together. And so I'm going to have a cap like this that'll slide over here. I don't know how much I want to explain this because it's like I'm getting ahead of myself, but it has to have this slit right here because eventually this tube is going to get soldered right there. And then this tube is going to be cut. So this right here is going to be cut. Oh, you can see I even like already marked a mark right there. And then that's going to be this thing right here. And then there has to be like a little back and forth thing. And that's what's going to turn. But this is like very exciting. This is what made me think, okay, I can continue with this project. So I've got it all together. And when you twist this, look at that. It's closing the vise. Isn't that freaking great? And so then if I unscrew it, you know, it's unscrewing it. And so then these things have to somehow be attached. And so once there's a cap on there, it's hard to demonstrate because I'm not at a point where really I can demonstrate anything, but it's like when the cap is on there and then I twist it the right way, it will open up. It'll open the jaws. It's just like right now, nothing is. So I have to remake this again because at the low point, I was trying to do something else and I had like, you know, I had this sheet in here and this sheet was gonna have be what holds it's just not going to work, because the need for the little U's so that the wire can slip in there, and the need for there to be somehow a way to bolt it together. So that's what these holes, and I even went and tapped one of them. Like these holes, we're going to bolt it together, but there's not enough room to have the U's and also have them bolted together. And so I had to figure out a new way, you know, a different way. And so like what I did is I soldered this sheet onto the end of this smaller rectangle tube. You know, that wasn't part of the plan. I did it with easy solder. I feel so bad. I feel naughty. Like I never use easy solder unless I'm like desperate. And I was I just was like, I don't want to do any more solder jobs on these, because I'm afraid every time it's just like, if you know, you know, but with soldering, it's like at any point something can just fall off the side, and then you're like, oh, now I'm really screwed. So it didn't happen, and it did give me a chance to fill a couple of holes in the solder that hadn't flown like kind of the first time. So that was good. And it doesn't look super pretty, but I'm not really worried about that because it's going to be covered by the cap. And so the only thing is, so you can see there's not a lot of room here, you know, for my bolt. Like that's just cutting it too close. I don't like it. And so I want to make this cap be longer. Like right now it's like 6. Like maybe I'll extend it and make it 9. What's the other one? The other one's 7. Yeah, I think if I make it 9, because really it's only like this area is where I want the pins to go, and there'll be 3 on one on each side. And there'll be 3 on this, 1 on each side. So you can see I already drilled the hole. But then it's just so interesting, because sometimes it feels like, oh, I can't do this step until that step, or I shouldn't do this step until that step. And so I wanted to have it dry fit together. And this is clamped together. This is solid. This is like, it's not coming apart. Like this is a success. And I'm really happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the pilot holes on all 3 sides, and then drill through them 1, 2, 3, and then tap them all so that I can bolt them together. But then I may go back on just the end cap and make that a body drill instead of a... Do you know the difference between a tap drill and a body drill? Anyways, so I'm thinking about then drilling these out to be body drills. And so then the bolt will go through the body drill and into the threaded holes in this outer rectangle tube. Okay, so like that whole explanation is what it is, right? And so here, let me show you something. If I take this whole thing apart, also, let's see how wide this can possibly be, because I may have made my threaded element too short, but I have enough if I have to make another one longer. But let's see how long I mean, this is pretty wide for as big of a vise as this is. I mean, it's tiny. So maybe I don't need to make a longer threaded piece. Because yeah, that's it. That's like pretty much as wide as it can go before it all comes apart. So then but it's like, that's how wide it is. You know, it could be that wide. We'll have to see. It might not be worth it for me to make this element again, because I also would have to resolder this little stopper thing on there, which isn't that big of a deal. But so I want you to look in here. So do you see that? See how much it plays? And so I was cautious that if I drilled and tapped all of these, that it would somehow make it be out of alignment and not be straight in the middle. And I can't even guarantee when the whole thing is together if it's straight in the middle or not. Like, I don't know if it is. But if I have it together and then I drill the holes and tap them, at least it's like immobilizing it where it is in the working and I know it's going to work. And so that's why I didn't go ahead and do any more than just, this one, drill this hole. And I'll probably go ahead and drill the other body holes. Like, these are the pieces so far. Right? It looks pretty, it looks like she knows what she's doing. Anyways, you want to see me put it together? Because that's kind of cool. I mean, you might not want, I'll do this tiny time lapse. So this goes in here, and then this, and I want to be gentle with it because I don't want to mess up the threads. Anyway, so then this, has got that. Those are my things. Here they are. And so I got to get that threaded rod into that tapped tube. And so they go in here like this. And then you just kind of, yeah, and then that's connected. So you kind of like close your eyes and feel around a little bit until you get the threaded rod into the tapped tube. And then it's going to be more fun though when there's like a woo, there it is. My God. It's really funny because I'm like really proud of where I'm at right now, but I'm also really ashamed of how bad it looks. But it's also like all the finishing happens at the end. It all happens at the end. So we're just gonna remember that. Oh yeah, remember I put this little tiny stone here. You guys remember that? I'm so like, now I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad that there's not just like a hole right here. So that's exciting. And there you go. Super exciting. All right, let's call it a day. But I just want to say thank you, because if it weren't for you guys watching me work alone in my basement studio on these tiny tools, like, I don't think I would be doing this right now, because the resistance of, oh, but there's everything else that I want to do, and like there's stuff I need to do around the house, and like I'm going on a trip, so like I need to pack for that and all that. But like, I do really feel very proud. Like, the range of emotions today, from like, oh, disgust and like resentment, to like down in the dumps, like, oh, I put in so much work and this just isn't working, to like, oh no, just solder a cap on there and just do it with easy solder because it's going to be covered anyways. And to push through that and actually create something great is super fantastic and totally worth it. But it's hard to like get the motivation to go through the tough stuff to get to the good things and like the success. So yeah, if you're enjoying watching me make these things, if you enjoy all of my videos, you guys are my people, and I really, really, really appreciate that you're watching. That's it, If not, if I didn't have you guys, this studio practice would be a pretty lonely endeavor. So thanks for keeping me company, keeping me motivated, keeping me passionate, all of that stuff. I really appreciate it. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you. Oh, and I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Mwah! Oh, let me hold it up for the thumbnail. I was afraid. Afraid is like a strong, I should not. Does it look good? Should I put my eye through it? But also my torch tank is really low, and so I thought it might have been something I don't know, with like an imbalance in the flame of the torch. Like maybe there's more carbon in the flame. I don't know. Now I'm making that up. I probably won't put that in, but if it sees my eye, it won't focus on the device. Drill those holes and tap them. Ugh, so good. All right. I don't know if we got a thumbnail out of that, but whatever. Yeah, I just